Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel all about BI. This is video number 5 in Microsoft Fabric playlist. Okay, what are we going to learn today? Workspaces in Fabric. Workspaces is a very simple concept. So we are going to learn some theory as well as I'm going to show you what are the capabilities of this workspace and what and all we can or cannot do in a workspace. Okay, so workspace is basically it is serving as a logical container that help you organize and manage your data, reports and other assets. So what are assets? Assets are nothing but whatever item that we are going to create under Microsoft Fabric workspace, right? They are called assets. It can be a data set, it can be a report, or it can be a pipeline, or it can be a machine learning model. It can be anything created under any experience that Fabric supports. Okay, so it is just a container. So those who are from SSIS, you can just assume it to be a sequence container. It doesn't do anything logically. It is grouping related tasks together. Those who are from Azure background, you can relate it with the container and data lake storage. A container will let us create folders. Inside folders we will be creating files. It is to do what? It is going to let us organize the data in a way that is easy for us to access the data as well as to process the data. Okay, the management becomes simple if we can organize it under a particular hierarchy or particular format. Alright, so workspace itself doesn't do anything logically. It helps you manage your resources or assets in a neat way. Okay, that's it about workspaces. So you can think of workspace like a shared Google Drive wherein different teams can store, process and analyze data together in an organized way. For example, I have a Google Drive folder. Okay, in that folder, I will be having certain files and folders again. Alright, so folders, subfolders and all. So certain files I will give all the permissions to public. Certain folders and subfolders I will give only specific roles to certain people. Read only or modify access. According to the person with whom we are sharing the Google Drive folder, we will set the permission accordingly. So same way, Workspace lets you manage the assets and the permissions given to those assets for different groups and individuals. Okay. So this is at a high level about workspaces. Alright, so we know that we will be creating the assets under workspace and then we can give permission to permission to people and group at workspace level. So what happens if I give access to workspace level? It will give permission to the individual items in the workspace by default. So if I have a reader level access at the workspace, I will be able to read the data that is stored in the workspace in the form of data sets or data pipelines or whatever it is. Okay. So if you want to handle your access mechanism in a simpler way, we will give access at the workspace level. Okay. So does that mean that you cannot give individual access to the files and folders or the pipelines, the data set, individual items or individual assets? No, you still can assign individual access to the items present in the workspace. That is still allowed. But if you want to manage it easily, make it at the workspace level. Okay, so normally people who work together only will be accessing the workspace, and workspace will only contain the items which are related to each other. We cannot have something that are not related within a workspace. What I mean by that is, inside workspace I cannot group different items which are not related to each other. For example, for retail related data processing, I have certain pipelines, certain models and stuff. So for finance related, we will have different set of items and reports. So there is no point for me to store these two items which are not related to each other under a single workspace. Okay, so we will have to plan the workspace accordingly, and we can create as many workspaces as we want according to the need and according to the best practices. So how many workspaces can we create? It depends on how do you want to organize your accesses. Okay, so it can be based on the department, or it can be based on the type of data. For raw data you can have one, or for curated data you can have one more. So like gold, silver, like that medallion architecture we know, right? So it depends on various strategies. Basically we will discuss these strategies in a different video. So for now, just understand that you will be able to manage the permissions and access at workspace level as well as at the individual items level in the workspace. So up to this, if we are able to understand, we can proceed further. All right. So what are the roles basically? So who can get what kind of access? There are only four roles. It is very simplified. Microsoft has made it very simple. Okay, there are no too many roles and all. Admin is the user who has end-to-end rights in our workspace. He will have all the accesses: creating workspace, deleting workspace, adding members, deleting members, accessing data, accessing reports, pipelines, execution, everything he will be able to do, he or she, right? Who will be the admin first? Whoever creates the workspace in the first place, they will become the default admin. Once they have created the workspace, they can add other people or group as admin users as well, because no organization supports or encourages one single person to be the admin for the whole workspace, right? So an admin can add or remove other people as admins also. Admin is the highest level of privilege anyone can get, and viewer access is the lowest level of privilege given to people. So as the name indicates, they can only view reports and data sets. Only view. They will not be able to edit it. They will not be able to delete it. They will not be able to manipulate. Right. In between admin and viewer, we have two different roles, which says member and contributor. Member has more privileges than contributor. Contributor is just the one who contributes to the data, contributes to the execution. For example, he will be able to execute a pipeline or rerun a pipeline. So he will be able to look at the model. He will have all the accesses that viewer has, but few more extra accesses. The contributor I'm saying. Okay, member will have more set of permissions and accesses than contributor. So the first minimum level of permission is viewership, and the next level is contributor, and the third level is member, and admin is the one with highest privileges. So this is the order. Okay. So what are the capabilities? What are the allowed capabilities, or can we look at the capabilities that people can think of? Yes, so we have these two URLs that has almost all the details about the workspace and permission models. I request you to go through these URLs for more deep, for diving deep into the concepts. So it is really nice to see Microsoft has documented it so well. Okay, I will provide these two URLs in the description section, so please take a look at it. So what are the roles basically? There are four roles as we saw. And then what are the capabilities? Capabilities are many in number. Okay. For example, delete the workspace and update the workspace. From that, to execute or cancel execution of data pipelines, modify gateway connection settings, schedule data refreshes via on-prem gateway. There are multiple capabilities that one requires while working in workspace. So for admin, he will have all the capabilities, all the permissions to all the capabilities mentioned here in this list. Member, one level less than admin. Contributor, even one level lesser than member. Similarly, viewer has the very least set of permissions given. So just go through this list to understand it better. And they have grouped it at a very high level in this particular URL, wherein they just divided the capability into 6 different groups. Delete the workspace, add admin, add member, write data, read data, and create items. So if you look at this table, you will clearly understand what every type of people or every role of people can do. Admin can do everything. Member, they cannot delete the workspace, they cannot add admin because they themselves are just members. They cannot add admins. They can add other people as members, but not as admins, right? So contributor, he will not be managing the workspace by adding or removing people. He will just contribute to the data, writing the data, reading the data, and creating the item. They are just contributors. They are not someone who manage the infrastructure. Viewer, he doesn't have any other role other than reading data. Okay, so this is at a very high level. I would be sharing this in the comment section or description. You can go ahead and you can get to know more about it, right? All right. Let us now learn to create and delete workspace. How can we create a workspace and how can we delete a workspace? Okay, it's going to be fairly simple. So just follow along. So once you log into app.fabric.microsoft.com, this will be the page which greets you with lots of information. Okay, so the very first half of it is asking us to create a workspace. Why? Workspace is the highest level of hierarchy or root level stuff container that is going to let us create multiple sub items or assets within. So that is why the first thing itself is asking you to create a workspace. You can create a workspace with predefined or pre-designed template called a task flow. We will get to know about all this later. So for now, we will just learn how to create a workspace and how to delete a workspace. All right. So the very first button that you see here is to create a workspace. But before that, where is the default workspace that gets created whenever we get into the Fabric portal? That is here, that you can see under Workspaces tab. Under Workspaces tab, you will be seeing something called My Workspace, okay, which is shipped default with the Fabric portal. Okay, this will also let us create some assets within, but it is recommended that you create your own workspace for your organization without using the default workspace. Okay, so how do we create a workspace? So we can create a workspace by coming in to the home page and then just click on create new workspace and then give a new workspace name, YouTube workspace. Okay, so description that identifies the workspace, the reason for creating this workspace, or what this workspace is all about. This workspace helps me manages, this workspace is to manage YouTube related content. Okay, I'll just say something like that. So if you are creating a workspace for your organization for a particular group of users called a retail or reporting or data scientist, then name the workspace accordingly so that you can identify the purpose of the workspace very easily, right? So domain, again, this is to group the workspaces under a particular domain. So for example, if you are creating something for a finance related domain, there can be multiple workspaces under a particular domain. So for finance itself, I can choose to have multiple workspaces and then I can group these workspaces under that particular finance domain. Okay, and then workspace image, if you want to upload an image for your workspace so that it appears here and appears wherever your workspace is referred, right? You can upload. Okay, and then if you say apply, a workspace will be created for you. So what we can do after creating a workspace, we can create items inside the workspace or assets inside the workspace. So if you click on new item, you will get to see lot of options for you to start working with. Okay, we are not going to deep dive into all that now. We just learned how do we create a workspace now. All right, so there might be different view for you. That is because of the experience that is chosen on the left bottom. Okay, so it currently says that Fabric view. You can also come across this Power BI view, which will be a little bit different. So if you're not seeing something that I'm showing here, just verify the type of view that you are into. Okay, I'll switch back to Fabric view. So we learned how do we create workspace. So we learned that there are multiple roles that can be given to workspace. So how do we manage all that? You can go to this and then click on workspace access. So here you will be having option to add people or group. Okay, generally adding people is not recommended, but adding group is. Okay, it should be group based access mechanism for us to easily manage the access is given to the particular group. Okay, so if you click on add people or group, you will be able to search people here. I don't have any other user created apart from this. Maybe I'll just see my org account. I'll just say my org account. So you can first add users in Azure portal and then users or groups in Azure portal, and then you can give access to those users or groups from here the same way. So while you choose the account, you will have the ability to choose among the four given roles, whether it's going to be another admin or it's going to be just a member or contributor or viewer. So I will just choose that and say add. it will add particular member related role to the user that we added. Okay, so that's how we manage the workspace access. So how did we do that? Go to workspace and then expand this workspace access, and then we are able to add. Okay, so how do we delete a workspace? So I just searched a little bit in order to find this out, so I'll just show you the steps here. So we can go to the workspaces that are on the left hand side pane, and then you will have to go to workspace settings. Under workspace settings we will be able to remove the workspace. Let's try to do that. So workspace, under workspace settings, come down. So it is not visible in the first place. If you scroll down, you will be able to remove the workspace. So this will be given to only admin people. Other role people, they will not be able to see this. Okay, so that is all with me. I have a small exercise for you people to try out something. Okay, so if you want, you can just try to do this and let me know if you have any questions. You can also choose to share the document to me in email, so that I just take a look at how are we doing it, right? You can create a workspace, and then you will be able to upload a file, but where? Under one lake. But we haven't covered one lake yet, so let us pass doing this exercise for now. Okay, up to this, what we were seeing is we just learned what is a workspace in Fabric, what is it relevant to or can be related to. It's nothing but a Google Drive where everybody can contribute and everyone will have their own set of roles and permissions. And we also learned about different roles that are given or assigned in workspace, and then we saw the capabilities in the URL that I showed you. Followed by that, we created a workspace, and then we also learned how to delete it. So let us stop with this. In the next video, I'll touch upon more details about the workspace. So we'll keep learning. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. Please do support the channel by sharing, liking, and subscribing. Thank you so much. Bye bye until we meet again.